Have you ever had your sugar daddy show up to your wedding as the officiant? The wedding coordinator assured me everything was perfect. The flowers were arranged, the caterers were setting up, and the officiant from the interfaith ministry would arrive an hour before the ceremony. I was in the bridal suite with my 3 bridesmaids, trying not to smudge my makeup while laughing at old college stories, when my maid of honor, Jasmine, checked her phone. The officiant just texted. He's parking now. Should I go meet him? Please, I said, adjusting my veil. His name is Reverend Thornton. Just show him where to set up. 5 minutes later, Jasmine burst back in, face pale. Natasha, we have a situation. What kind of situation? The kind where you need to come immediately. I hiked up my dress and followed her down the hallway to the small office where the officiant was supposed to wait. When I opened the door, my blood turned to ice. Standing there in ministerial robes, holding a leather-bound ceremony book, was Jeffrey. Jeffrey, who'd paid my rent for 2 years during graduate school. Jeffrey, who'd bought me designer clothes and taken me to restaurants I couldn't afford. Jeffrey, my former sugar daddy from 5 years ago, before I'd met my fiancé, before I'd rebuilt my entire life. Hello, Natasha, he said calmly. You look radiant. What are you doing here? I whispered, closing the door behind me. I'm Reverend Thornton. Got ordained 3 years ago. Found faith after our arrangement ended. When I saw your name on the booking, I thought it must be a different Natasha Molina. But then I saw the photo you submitted with the paperwork. You need to leave, right now. I'm the only ordained minister within 50 miles who wasn't already booked. Unless you want to postpone your wedding. I sank into a chair, head spinning. Does this amuse you? Showing up to ruin my life? Ruin? He looked genuinely hurt. I'm here to do a job. I'm a professional now, just like you became after finishing your doctorate. The doctorate I helped fund, if memory serves. That was a business arrangement. Exactly. And so is this. I perform ceremonies. You need someone to perform a ceremony. Neither of us needs to mention how we know each other. My fiancé doesn't know about you. About what? That you had a life before him? That you did what you needed to survive graduate school? Jeffrey sat down across from me. You were 23, working 3 jobs, about to drop out. You made a practical decision. There's no shame in that. Roberto thinks I got through school on scholarships and loans. Then let him keep thinking that. I'm just a minister you hired online. Jasmine knocked. 20 minutes until showtime. Everything okay? Fine, I called back, voice shaking. Jeffrey leaned forward. Listen, I know this is awkward, but I've changed. You've changed. I'm genuinely happy you found love. Let me do this one thing right. Why would you want to? Because I cared about you. Even if our relationship was transactional. You were brilliant, determined, going places. I was lonely and wealthy. We helped each other. Now you're marrying someone you actually love. Let me give you that gift. By lying, by letting the past stay in the past. I'll perform the ceremony, disappear, and you'll never see me again. Or I leave now, you have no officiant, and you explain to 200 guests why the wedding is canceled. I stared at him, this man who'd once controlled my financial stability now holding my wedding hostage. Except he wasn't threatening anything. He was offering to pretend we were strangers. Roberto can never know. Know what? That Reverend Thornton performed your ceremony? That's all I am today. Against every instinct, I nodded. Fine, but if you say anything, what would I say? Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today, and by the way, I used to pay the bride's rent. Give me some credit. 20 minutes later, I walked down the aisle toward Roberto, my sweet, honest Roberto, who'd proposed at his family's taco truck because he said it was where he felt most himself. Jeffrey stood at the altar, looking every inch the respectable minister. The ceremony was flawless. Jeffrey's voice was steady, professional, warm without being familiar. He spoke about love being patient, love being kind, never once making eye contact with me longer than necessary. When Roberto's grandmother started crying during the vows, Jeffrey handed her his handkerchief with practiced grace. You may kiss the bride, Jeffrey announced, and Roberto pulled me close while everyone cheered. At the reception, Jeffrey quietly signed the marriage certificate, handed it to my sister, and moved toward the exit. Roberto caught his arm. Reverend, please stay for dinner. You did such a beautiful job. That's kind, but I have another commitment, Jeffrey said smoothly. At least let me pay you extra. That was the most moving ceremony I've ever witnessed. Jeffrey smiled at Roberto, then glanced at me. Your wife already paid in full. Seeing you two so happy is bonus enough. He shook Roberto's hand, nodded at me like I was any other bride, and walked out. That night, in our honeymoon suite, Roberto said, that minister seemed familiar. Have we met him before? Maybe he just has one of those faces, I replied, hating myself for lying, but knowing the truth would destroy everything. A week later, a wedding gift arrived with no return address. Inside was a silver picture frame, my doctorate diploma already mounted in it, and a note, for the woman who earned everything she has. The past is past. Enjoy your future. A stranger. Roberto hung it in our living room, saying how thoughtful someone was to frame my achievement. Every time I see it, I remember that sometimes our secrets show up wearing minister's robes, and sometimes, if we're lucky, they keep our secrets too.